Okie doke. I'm just going to talk about some things that kind of got on my nerves today. So first I'm going to start with, and if we're looking at, this is my timeline from X. Genocide in Real Time, Dr. Richard M. Fleming, PhD, MD, JD, just confirmed what many feared. HIV sequences were inserted into the spike protein of SARS-CoV vaccine. This is a man talking about, this is my a day every morning, and I've been sitting on this all day thinking, I don't really want to do this. Just talking about, you can pause and read and whatever, or you can find the videos. It's a TikTok video. This woman is pretty interesting. You know,
for the greater good. We need you to stay home just a little bit longer than 2 weeks. It's for the greater good. We need you to wear this on your face. It's for the greater good. We need you to wear 2 of these on your face. It's for the greater good. We need you to inject this into your body. It's for the greater good.
Okay. Here's Jews got expelled. And not once it was their fault from 109 countries. Here, this guy here, he doesn't care
about it.
Killing me.
But in a way, it makes me much more grow up until be 18 and then to wait until it's going to come with a rifle or with a gun and shoot me.
Yeah, he's saying he should kill the kids before they grow up so that they don't come when they're 18 and kill them for abusing them.
أشهد هذه طفلة في قلب المكان الذي نتواجد فيه شهيدة الآن في قلب المكان الذي نتواجد.
See, they get their wish. I don't know what kind of psychopath would think that way. I don't know how they think they could be serving God, of any God. They're just taking land and killing people. 15,000 people are imprisoned in Europe for questioning the Holocaust. Anybody with a clear conscience could have read the Red Cross reports from the 1950s, and they said there was only 200,000 Jewish people killed, and their population, there wasn't 6 million Jewish people in Germany and Poland. It was a couple of 100,000, 400,000 max. So it'd be really odd to believe that there were 6 million Jews killed. It's just the math doesn't work. I mean, I don't know. I didn't say that the Germans didn't turn on the Jews and put them in work camps. Yeah, that happened. But the 6 million number is fake. Here's a veteran.
The things we did, the things we fought for, and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. Our country's gone to hell in a handbasket. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for. I wanna take you somewhere, just not it. So cold, down, don't know where.
A little meme. What we were forced to believe terrorists look like and what they actually look like. Oops, sorry. Yeah, pretty funny. The Israeli army is facing a crisis. Even some of the people that are up for the being recalled, they're refusing. They say 100,000 have stopped showing up for the reserve duty. Don't know if that's true. And any of this stuff, this is what I read. Netanyahu wants to make the Middle East into his image. He wants to get rid of everyone and put them all under the thumb of Zionism. Sorry, because it's not Judaism. This is our president, I believe it was Woodrow Wilson, who wrote a letter that he let the industrial complex take over. This little meme about Zionism. There's a point I'm getting to, so if you're hanging in there with me, you might like where I go. This is Netanyahu declared something huge, something Israel has never admitted to. Today, the Jewish people possess a superpower that guarantees the eternal survival of the state of Israel in the Middle East. Yet, there's something wrong with him. I think he was sexually abused as a child, and his anus still hurts. This is an ambulance driver in Palestine. This is a Jewish kid.
You're a Jewish person, as I am, and you care at all about the rights and freedoms of people here in the United States and around the world. Now, if you haven't already, is the time to speak up. This administration is weaponizing anti-Semitism, exploiting and distorting it, draining it of all its meaning in order to unlawfully kick people out of this country, to trample on the rights and freedoms of your fellow human beings, and to continue to perpetuate a genocide. They are taking Jewish identity, dragging it through the mud, and stitching it entirely to the genocidal actions of a state. They are using Judaism to launder fascism and excuse genocide. If that doesn't make you furious, what will? Fascism is here. It's not a distant threat. It's not a potential future. Just because it hasn't touched you yet doesn't mean it's not happening. And just because some of our safeguards have delayed things doesn't mean it's not here. People who have not been charged with any crimes are being abducted by the state, and they're being abducted under the guise of Jewish safety. It should be obvious to everyone that this has nothing to do with Jewish safety. Again, they are using Judaism to launder fascism and excuse genocide. When we look back at this era, an era defined by cruelty and dehumanization, one of the large headlines during this period, when people's rights were entirely destroyed, will be that this was done for Jewish people, that this was done to protect us. Of course, none of this is about protecting anyone, except for those with a vested interest in keeping the blades of colonialism and imperialism spinning just as fast as they always have.
Well, there's some truth in there. Here's a Jewish soldier.
It's a protocol that is called straw widow. That basically in my team were snipers, and because of that we did lots of snipers ambush from inside Palestinian home. It's a protocol that is called straw widow. But basically it means to take a private Palestinian house and turn it into a military post. The first time that we did that, it was in the refugee camp in Jenin in 2006. You know, we trained and we were full with adrenaline and energy.
I just want to point out 2006 was the first time that the snipers were doing this. Yeah, so, gee, that seems something like 19 years ago. Okay.
And everything, and after we broke down the door and raided the house, so I entered into the first room and I grabbed the person in his bed, because that's the tactic, and you need to throw them to another room. But when I lifted from his bed, I realized it was an 11-year-old kid, and I had camouflage on my face, and it was at gunpoint. So he looked at me with his eyes and was so afraid, and I threw him with the rest of the family to another room. And when we put our sniping rifle and started scanning the city and adrenaline came down, I told myself, what the hell am I doing? Is this security? I'm securing my family in Tel Aviv? No, I just ruined this Palestinian family's life. I don't know what will happen with them afterwards. But then quickly I said, no, you don't understand something. There is a bigger picture, something like that. But I did that 2 or 3 times a week till I finished my army service. I invaded into hundreds of homes. I dragged, I don't know how many people from their beds. But then when I thought about it, I understood the occupation is not for security, it's for control, right? We want to control Palestinians because we want to build settlements, because we want to take their land. So for me, it was just doing the mission that the IDF sent me to do, but thinking and not just executing commands. That's what made me break my silence and understanding what we're doing.
There's a soldier having regrets. We don't need to listen to that. Obviously, you can tell these panels are doing that every day in Gaza. Every day in Gaza. Maybe we should hear the explosion. Clowns. So, my parents and my brother assaulted me sexually and recorded it. They distributed the videos to others. The daughter of Orit Malka Strzok Cohen, Israel's Minister for Settlement and National Missions. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, this is what brought me today to making this video. Donald Trump, my friend Douglas Murray, just released a new book on democracies and death cults. Death cults, remember that word or phrase. And it is quickly becoming the bestseller based on his first-hand reporting. Douglas documents the barbarity of Hamas's brutal attack on Israel on October 7th and Israel's heroic response that took them 8 hours to do. And then they just blew everything up that was there and their own people and everything. And I don't know how it took them 8 hours to respond unless they wanted that to happen. But they were setting up snipers into people's homes and sniping people back in 2006. But okay, let's just erase all of that, right? Because Donald Trump, these are his friends. He's a Jew now. He doesn't really understand that he's just a convert and that they're going to sacrifice him. And that's going to be their battle cry to get everyone to turn on Islam. But he's a 5D chess player. So he's going to sacrifice himself like Jesus Christ, I guess is how he thinks in his mind. I don't know what he's thinking, but they need a war cry. He's the war cry. But here he is being Donald Trump. No brains here. I don't know who tells him whatever. So the book serves as a strong reminder of why we must always stand up for America and our great and friendly ally, Israel. Really. Our ally? What did they do for us? We give them money. We have to walk on tiptoes around them. Can't say this, can't say that. Going to go to jail. Going to be an anti-Semite. Zionists are the problem. And the ruling state people, they're psychopaths. They're crazy. They just want money, power, land, kill. They enjoy it, and they convinced a lot of people. Now, there are a lot of Torah Jews who can read correctly and don't listen to what some rabbi who is being chased by the Romans and wrote down some stuff that, he should kill all Gentiles. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? We can share something else since we're talking about that. Now that I'm just here, I want to share this tab instead. The dangers of Judaism. When they're talking basically Talmudic Judaism. So I'll go this slow, so you can always pause it if you wanted to read this. This is from World Events and the Bible. So what's true and not true, I can't say. This is stuff I find on the internet, just like everyone else in the world. So these are partial quotes cited for brevity, and for full quotes are linked to the Talmud. So in Bava Kama 13a, 21 to 22, it is permitted to deceive a Gentile. So a Jewish person will tell you, hey, that's taken out of context. Yeah. Okay. Jews can steal from Gentiles. It is permitted for a Jew to rob a Gentile. I've had Jewish people tell me that. But it's taken out of context. Jews can murder Gentiles. Sanhedrin 57a:16. If a Jew murders a Gentile, he is exempt. A Jew may kill a Gentile. The commandments only refer to Jews killing other Jews. See, Jews believe they're sons of God, and that they're divine, and that we are just creation. We are creatures like cattle, which goy. So can't even deny it. That's the word. They try and say, oh no, that means not Jew. No, it means cattle. A Gentile who hits a Jew deserves death. A Gentile who struck a Jew is liable to receive the death penalty. Oh, it's taken out of context. Slapping a Jew is like slapping God. So here we go into one who slaps the cheek of a Jew is considered as though he slapped the cheek of the divine presence. One who strikes Nakash, a Jew, is considered as though he hurt the cheek of, would be God, the Holy One. So here's the problem with that. That means that you believe you're a God. I'm not going to take that any further. This is a problem. Disregarding a rabbi deserves death. Anyone who transgresses the sages is liable to receive the death penalty. So isn't that kind of like you get arrested now and get sent to prison if you say something against Jewish people, which really we're looking at Talmudic Zionists who have twisted the words around. Here's one that's a favorite. Jews can have sex with 3-year-old girls. An adult man who engages in intercourse with a minor girl less than 3 years old has done nothing. And the reason they say that is because the hymen grows back up to 3 years old. Jews can have gay sex with 9-year-old boys. If a child is less than 9 years old and engages in homosexual intercourse passively, the one who engages in intercourse with him is not liable. Gentiles engage in bestiality. And a rabbi once saw a Gentile who bought a goose and engaged in bestiality with it, then roasted it and ate it, and I'm not really going to address that much more. Gentiles prefer Jewish animals for sex. Okay. That's in Avodah Zahar. I guess it's, the animal of a Jew is more appealing to Gentiles than their own wives. Sorry, Gentile women. Your husbands would rather have sex with a goose because the rabbi saw it. And, they don't. But Jewish guys will have sex with Gentile women. But okay, we won't go there. Gentiles are animals, not people. Gentiles aren't included in the meaning of the term person, Adam. Indeed, they are not. The Jewish people are called Adam, but Gentiles are not called Adam, and it's Adam, meaning they believe that Adam was divine, a divine creature, and they're from Adam. They just make that up in their head, but that's how they interpret whatever. And everything that they believe is made up in their head. Well, that's with every religion, basically, except for the miracles and the mystical things that happen through the supernatural. But this kind of stuff, nobody told. These are just some rabbis rambling stuff because they hate Gentiles. And they wrote it down, and that's their oral tradition, to hate everybody. Hell has no power over a Jew. The fire of Gehenna, has no power over Torah scholars. The fire of Gehenna has no power over the sinners of Israel either. Meaning, they don't go to hell. They all go to heaven. Doesn't matter what they do. Talmud says the Christian Bible is wicked. Rabbi Meir would call the Christian writings, Evangelion, the wicked folio. Rabbi Yohan called it a sinful folio. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. Yep, I guess I don't have the greatest thing. Okay, let's just keep going. I got a dog barking. Talmud says Jesus is boiling in excrement, that he's in hell in excrement, and I'm not going to go further with that. Jews triumph over God. Jews triumph over God. I'm trying to tell somebody, no. Jews triumph over God. And it says they beat God, I guess. Since the Torah was already given at Mount Sinai, we do not regard a divine voice. What did the Holy One, blessed be he, do at that time? The Holy One smiled and said, my children have triumphed over me. My children have triumphed over me. So they're higher than God. Recap, just real quick. Jews can lie and deceive Gentiles. Jews can steal from Gentiles. Jews can murder Gentiles. Gentiles deserve death for hitting a Jew. Slapping a Jew is like slapping God. Disregarding rabbis deserves death. Jews have sex with 3-year-old girls. Jews can have gay sex with 9-year-old boys. Gentiles enjoy bestiality. Gentiles prefer Jewish animals for sex instead of wives. Gentiles are animals, not people. Hell has no power over Jews. The Talmud says the Bible is wicked. The Talmud says Jesus is boiling in excrement and Jews triumphed over God. I'm not going to go into the Jewish fables, but I'm going to go back to here. He just released a new book on the democracies of death cults. Did he include the Talmudic Jews in that? Douglas Murray and Donald Trump, you're endorsing that? So every day we're watching all that good stuff of they're so happy and they're cheering that they're killing Palestinians. What's going on in this world? It's backwards. Here we go. I like this. You're an anti-Semite if you don't get in the box. Yeah, this is true. Sadly. This is that same letter again. This man, our rights are, and it's not all about, it's about taking all our rights away. This man he lives in the back, and he went across streets out on the bench, and he was watching the sunrise. And someone called the cops on him and said, there's a man sleeping on the bench. And the cops arrested him because he didn't have his ID on him. They just walked out of the house, and they arrested him. This is what America has come from. We're going to skip by that. Yeah, this is just another little meme. Iran just flipped the table on America and Israel and called for a nuclear-free Middle East and full denuclearization of Israel. Okay. I knew that Trump, when he said we're going to make a deal with Iran, he was going to say something stupid like that. And, we're being played. Iran was not going to agree to that. If you're not going to take the nukes away from Israel, they're going to attack him anyway. It's just a game they're playing with us. And, of course, we're being poisoned. You can see it all through the sky. Oh, those are contrails. Yeah. Oh, wait, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said they're chemtrails. They've stepped it up because it's the end of the program, because they're going to have to stop. but they can do it from the ground to from ships in the ocean. They can, send stuff up to create clouds, and they have facilities on land that do that too. But this program's finishing up. They've poisoned everything enough. They've met their goal. This is just ironic. This is Israeli tank knocking down a statue of St. George. The funny thing about St. George is he's the one who destroys demons. And those guys are definitely demons. I'm not going to comment much on this. We know who this is. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Okay. I'm not going to comment. This video is 20 years old. This is an Arab Muslim, and he's predicted exactly what's happening today. I'm not going to make you watch that video because we've already been talking a while. This is what I like. When you take the gun away from a Jewish guy and you don't have him killing innocent people, somebody's yelling names at them. This is what happens.
Let me be clear. I do not feel safe. I do not feel safe. Let me be clear. I do not feel safe. I do not feel safe. Let me be clear. I do not feel safe.
That's because he doesn't have a gun and he's not shooting little kids with all his buddies. He's complaining he doesn't feel safe when someone's holding up a flag and protesting about what's going on in Israel. And who's that jerk off next to him? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to swear. Here. What was that?
That I know for the police that you were attacking me.
But you cannot do this. Don't take a picture. Take it down.
Come
Take
on.
it down.
This is not. You are touching me. You have no right to touch me. You have no right to spit on me. Hey, come on. Could you make? Very good. Could you make a picture of him? It's very good.
I don't really have the words. Yeah, Trump, you're playing 5D chess. You're destroying the whole world. They promised you're going to be the Messiah? No. You're going to be a martyr. They're going to shoot you in the head, blame an Islamic guy, so that everyone turns on the Islamics. That would be the atheists and the Christians. And then, of course, the Jews are already after everybody. And they want everybody to kill each other off. Isn't that the Albert Pike way? Seems to fit perfect. And you're setting the stage for it. Yeah, this is in Israel. You walk down the street, if you're a Christian, that's what happens to you. Fire going on here. Here's another rabbi. Ukraine owes an historic debt to his tribe. What kind of debt is that? And how do Ukrainians repay it? So, this we got to understand. The DNA of 97% of the Israelites come from that area. Ukraine. They want their land back. They're already buying settlements there. So if you think Ukraine has nothing to do with, wrong. I respect this woman, Francesca Albanese, very much. She's speaking to deaf ears. This is a priest that has something to say.
2 and 2 can also be 6. So where do the 6 million come from? They come from the imagination of the Jews. 2 and 2 can also be 6. 2 and 2 can also be 6 million. And the Jews run the newspapers and they run the television. By the stupid permission of the Gentiles, the Jews today are now convinced that they're coming close to their Messiah. The stupid Gentiles, the godless Gentiles, will swallow it down because they've got no God any longer. They've lost all sense of truth, objective truth, historical truth. And they swallow the Jewish myth. Why do they swallow the Jewish myth? Because the Jewish myth is a substitute religion. Gentiles today are people godless and without religion, and the Jews give them a religion. Golgotha is now Auschwitz. The cross is the gas chamber. The Redeemer is the 6 million. Therefore, the Jews are God. And the stupid, godless Gentiles are swallowing it down.
I don't know.
Happened on October 7th. Well, everyone knows. Everyone knows.
And what did he say? Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Everyone knows.
What happened on October 7th was an Israeli setup. Everyone knows.
What? Look at him smile.
It was an Israeli setup. Everyone knows.
There's your measles vaccine, giving someone the measles. The Harvard University student stood up, which is admirable. Yeah, here was where I was going to show you what the Talmud said. See, the Talmud says that Christians are idol worshippers, and the penalty is beheading. So this is what the Jews in charge have planned for us, for it is anti-Semitism laws. Next, it's our heads. First, it is anti-Semitism laws. Next, it's our heads. Since they believe the Bible is anti-Semitic. So they want a warning on the Bible. But I wanted to show you one other thing, because, that's their heads, right? So, why are modern guillotines on military bases in America? So there's been since Obama, or actually Bush had been in office, I think. So I'll just read this. Obonzo, that is sold us by signing away our fate, dictates the Chabad Lubavitch rabbis. Wait, those guys sound familiar. Oh, that's right. That's what Trump converted to, with the Talmudic interpretation of the Noahide laws, which were passed in America under an emergency clause in the 1990s. Law 102-14, signed in 1983 by Bonzo. This federal statutory law, which can be invoked at any time, established the legal grounds for execution by decapitation anyone who is found guilty of Avodah Zara, idol worship, which according to the Hellenic Judaism Authority, I can't even pronounce the words, Maimonides, and my glasses are not working right. Here includes anyone who worships Jesus Christ. The source is Michael Hoffman, impressive 2008, Judaism discovered. So we passed a law to put in effect the Noahide laws, which call for the beheading of Christians because we're idol worshippers. Amazing, huh? Let's go back here. Little coincidental thing. This is how truth-based AI models are anti-Semitic, so they're fixing them so they can't be anti-Semitic AI. And this is the sexual assault of the Israeli minister. She assaulted her daughter, and here's her confession live. And this is Congress. America first. America first. America first. America first. Okay, we don't need to look at any more of them. Donald Trump, this is called this distraction. Oh, the 2020 election was fixed. We all knew that. No one did nothing about it. Stu Peters. You know what? I think I really went through enough. I'm really pissed at Donald Trump. It's a great disappointment and shows his ignorance and the evil intent in him. No one with a normal brain would justify what Israel is doing in Gaza. And I do not agree with the Islamic faith or the Muslim faith. I think that it has many flaws in it too. In fact, all religions do. But they are doing right now what the Talmud says, and they're using that to justify it. And our president is not just complicit, he's spearheading it. We are in trouble. I'm just a man. I can't stop them. I can't, and everything I say can get me in trouble. You cannot stop them from killing all of us. They're spraying us with chemicals. You don't want to believe it? Don't believe it. They're putting chemicals in your food. You don't want to believe it? Don't believe it. They're spraying shit in the air that's poisoning us and killing us. It's killing the flowers. They're manipulating the weather. They're killing us in wars and shooting. In other parts of the world, they're giving you vaccines that kill you. Literally doing it on purpose. But you still can't see it. A lot of people are like, duh. No, that's conspiracy theory stuff. Okay. I don't know what else to say. This is an 18-year-old boy. He's refusing to go into the reserves in the IDF. He doesn't want to kill babies. Good for him. Here, this I thought would be interesting to watch. They tell this guy to walk away with his hands up. He's got his coat in his hand. He's walking. Keep going. They're telling him. Well, maybe I should see if it's some sound. Yeah. You have much to say about that, Donald Trump? Would that be the bad groups? Here's another IDF soldier, the other guy.
Up the maps and look at the specific house that looked into the right place that we had to enter.
He's just telling you, not to play the whole thing. He's telling you they pick a house where they know they're not hostile, and they go in and they use that as a sniper perch. Too fast, huh? Well, they released this guy. He's blindfolded, and he's running. And they shoot him. Yeah, Donnie Trump. These are your men. We got to save Israel so they can come over here and do that to us. Or you could order our soldiers to do it to us because we said something against a Jew. It's Zionism. It's not a religion, dude. And Israel does not have the right to do what they're doing. Even if I disagree with the Islamics. And you know what? Remember Biden taking the Venezuelan prisoners? He paid the president there to send them all here, the worst prisoners that they had, the gangs. So England and Switzerland and Europe is having a problem with young girls getting raped. And they're all men. Where do you think they're getting them men from? Would it be their prisons? And they're doing the same thing over there? Or no one thought of that? That's why you have all these violent Islamic Muslims. The ones that are in jail there, they're emptying out their jails and putting them in Europe. Can't you figure it out? Gee, it's not hard to see. I mean, I've met a lot of Islamic families. They don't act like those guys. Never mind. Japan's noticing something's up with America. This guy's not, Yeah, I'm going to end it with listening to this guy, and then I'm just going to end the stream. I said my piece for today. I am censored. No one's really going to see it, so it doesn't matter. Here we go. This guy, I like this guy. He's kind of funny.
You shot 3-year-olds in the head? But we're Jewish! You hog-tied children and executed them? Fuck you! And then buried them alive? But it's my favorite thing! You bombed doctors and nurses? But the Holocaust! And then ran them over with tanks? I didn't do it! You bombed food relief workers.
It wasn't us.
You've single-handedly destroyed the entire education and healthcare infrastructure in Gaza.
We have a right to defend.
You bombed UN workers. You slaughtered entire families by waiting till they got home at night and bombed them at 5 a.m. when you knew they would be there.
Fuck you.
You bombed people trying to eat food.
They did it.
You bombed people trying to receive humanitarian aid.
We're looking into it.
And you bombed the people that were trying to administer humanitarian.
We conducted an investigation and we found we did nothing wrong.
You roped off entire neighborhoods and then bulldozed over them.
You're being anti-semantic.
You sent drones into Gaza playing audio of children crying to lure Palestinians out and then massacred them.
But like the Holocaust.
You used AI-generated kill lists and didn't bother to double-check the names.
Oh, that's the Netzah.
You set up kill zones where anyone that meandered into this invisible zone was automatically targeted for death.
No, that's the Netzah.
Then you bombed the ambulances who were coming to help those people that were bombed.
Yehuda.
You're not allowing independent investigations?
It wasn't us, it was the Netzah Yehuda.
You sniped journalists.
We're looking into it.
You killed teachers and students.
It's just a few bad apples is all.
You used disproportionate violence.
Now we get to be the Gestapo.
You bombed a refugee camp?
Now we get to be the Gestapo.
And then ran them over with tanks?
But we're Jewish.
You shot 3-year-olds.
Okay, that's more than enough for me today. How long was that? I don't even know. 41 minutes. Yeah. We've been had. We're being led to slaughter ourselves. We're losing everything. Our food is being poisoned. Is anyone going to stand up at all? God bless everyone. Pray for peace. Pray for sanity to take control of the world again instead of these insane people. Donald Trump, you're a disappointment. A big disappointment and a liar.